Good morning. Hello. This is Rielu sa Buhay sa Amerika. And yesterday I was reading the book Mother of Peace. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, a memoir by Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. And this book, she says, for the first time, I'm opening up a window into my life. I do so with the hope that the story of this life, lived in accordance with God's love, will inspire in others the same mission, passion, devotion, and dream. And I'm continuing on page 15, which I have ended yesterday when I first did the live broadcast. Sharing the preface of this book, and I hope that you too can get an inspiration. At the back page, it said, introduction about Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. Dr. Hak Jahan Moon leads an interreligious and international movement for peace. Since her war-torn childhood, she has yearned to realize God's dream of peace. Her path led to her holy wedding with Reverend Sun Myung Moon and an unimaginable life of sacrifice, perseverance, and devotion to God and humankind. Her story is a noble and touching drama of a village girl called to serve God's purpose as the mother of peace. And she said, my lifelong goal and determination is to fulfill the dream of God. Our Heavenly Parent longs to live together with all of us as generations of good and loving people, forming the Heavenly Parent's holy community, one family under God. I am determined to bring that dream into reality during my remaining years, and I invite all of you, my list, all of my readers to join me in this historic task. And this is on page 15. And thank you for joining me to all those of you who just tuned in. I am going to read on the page on page 15. But before that, let me just share this to some of my friends. Thank you for waiting. And on page 15, the oceans are a treasured resource. In every era of recorded history, humanity has experienced incredible pain. The most tragic period was also the most recent, the 20th century. Wars raged ceaselessly across the global village, and countless good people lost their lives in that savagery. I was born during the Japanese occupation of Korea, and I experienced the aftermath of World War II and the Korean War. I still cannot forget the terrible things I witnessed as a small child. Those times have passed, and now we are waging war against a complex enemy. The temptation to forget our responsibilities to our families and the natural environment and seek only personal comfort and convenience. Unfortunately, we have a deep moral sense and wisdom and practical methods by which we can work together to achieve God's ideal. All people hope that we can recover and sustain the oceans as the Heavenly Parent created them, covering 70% of the earth. The oceans contain immense resources. Like hidden treasures, they hold solutions for the dilemmas confronting the human race. I have emphasized the importance of the ocean in many occasions and have, together with my husband, suggested various approaches we might take accordingly. The ocean was chosen as the theme for the first Sunhawk Peace Prize. The Peace Prize Committee oversaw a strict process to select righteous, achievement-oriented leaders in this arena. Those selected as our uh, those selected as our laureates that year were Dr. M. B. J. Gupta of India and the President Anote Tong of Kiribati, a small island nation in the South Pacific. Dr. Gupta is a scientist who, concerned over persistent food shortages, led the Blue Revolution by developing fish farming technologies. He greatly contributed to relieving hunger among the poor by widely distributing these technologies in Southeast Asia and Africa. President Anote Tong is a leading global advocate for the intelligent preservation and management of the marine ecosystem. It is predicted that much of his nation of Kiribati could be submerged in less than 30 years due to the rising sea level. In the face of such a crisis, President Tong took the lead toward protecting the ecosystem by creating the largest protected marine park in the world. For decades, my husband and I took on the task of ensuring that humanity moves into a future assured of abundant food supplies and pleasant, healthy environments. We advocated the free exchange of technology across national borders and shared our vision that the oceans are a gift from God and the ultimate source of the world's nutrition. Stable food sources and pure air, land and water are essential to world peace and the salvation of humankind. Not conforming ourselves to theoretical explanations, we devoted significant resources to practical projects in the real world. For half a century, Latin America was a major site for this investment of true love and human resources. In the mid-1990s, with serious hearts, Reverend Father Moon and I traveled to the Pantanal region. The Pantanal is a vast wetland straddling the borders of Paraguay and Brazil. It is located precisely on the opposite side of the globe from our home country. There we work hand in hand with farmers and fishermen. Putting an end to food shortages begins by getting your hands dirty. Rather than give sermons from an air-conditioned pulpit, we work under the scorching sun, neglecting to eat or rest. I vividly remember pondering environmental issues as I wiped beads of sweat from my face. We launched various initiatives in the Pantanal region, and we had carried out countless other projects for the sake of humankind over the past 60 years. My nature compels me to give everything I have for the happiness of others, with no desire for recognition. I know who I am, the true mother, the mother of peace and God's only begotten daughter. And my mission is to live this way, to end heavenly parents' sorrow. I had dried the tears of strangers in need, considering this to be connected through threads of faith to the salvation of humanity. Everyday Heroes on page 17. The end of winter can be bitterly cold, but no matter how cold it is, when spring comes and its warmth envelops the earth, we quickly forget that there ever was a winter. The bitter cold of humanity's winter is receding, and as heavenly parents' warmth envelops the earth, it will be forgotten. We feel this warmth as our sun-hot Peace Prize events such as its second biannual convention that took place in Seoul on February 3, 2017. Page 18. That very busy day began by my personally welcoming hundreds of guests. These men and women hailed from 80 countries, representing various races, speaking many languages, and following different paths of faith. I tried to create an environment in which everyone could freely greet the strangers around them and quickly become friends. The warmth of spring was the setting in which I reminded my guests that many people in the world are friendless and hungry. Many families have been driven from their homelands. As a child refugee myself, I know there were no words to express the misery of being forced to flee one's home due to the devastation of war. The Sunhack Peace Prize is an initiative through which I can issue the call for solution to the painful plight of refugees and prevent livelihoods from being destroyed. I took for righteous, but for unheralded pioneers of peace, honor them, and strongly encourage them. The second set of Sunhawk Peace Prize, presented in 2017, went to two such people, Dr. Sakina Jacobi and Dr. Gino Strada. Do not look like celebrities. They look like everyday people. A gentlemanly, middle-aged European with ruffled hair is a gifted surgeon and founder of an international medical relief organization. Doctor Gino Strada from Italy is a surgeon with rap is a surgeon and humanitarian whose work over the past 28 years provided emergency medical care for more than 9 million refugees and victims of war in the Middle East and Africa. A motherly woman with a sun-weathered face framed by a black jihad has brought thousands of young women hope. Doctor Sakina Jacobi of Afghanistan is an educator, referred to as the Afghan mother of education. She has worked in Afghan refugee camps for more than 20 years, helping refugees and displaced people resettle. She has risked her life to teach, encouraging people to hope for a better tomorrow. Even in the face of enormous obstacle, in response to her award, Dr. Jacobi wrote to her, wrote to me in her handwriting expressing her heartfelt gratitude. It is really, really wonderful. The award itself is really big. It's comparable to the Nobel Peace Prize. My life is in danger all the time. In the morning, I get up. In the evening, I don't know whether I will be alive or dead. Knowing that somebody values you in your work helps a lot. Also, I want to say to Mother Hakjahan Moon that I'm really thankful to her because she gives me credit for what I do. It means a lot to me. Korea is a country. Korea is a country that I admire because you have been to war. You have suffered, but with your determination, hard work, sincerity, and wisdom, you have accomplished a lot in a really short time. I hope and pray that someday my country can use your country as a role model. Putting her life in danger, Doctor Jacobi continues to fight for women and children. While we are comfortably at home, eating warm meals, many are being driven from their homes, uprooted, they live in pain and anguish, their lives completely shattered. This is the time to bring this sad tragedy to an end. Give us this day, on page 19. When Jesus asked him to teach them how to pray, his answer was clear. Give us this day our daily bread. 2,000 years have passed since Jesus taught us that prayer. However, there are still so many people who, more than we can imagine, who do not have daily bread. Africa is the birthplace of human civilization, yet some African people live in circumstances so poor that their primary goal is having enough to eat. This fundamental human need is often not met, and the opportunity for basic education is also limited. Many face this situation. Each time I visit Africa, I seek solution to these issues, which I take very personally. When the Hassan Haq Peace Prize Committee announced in 2019 the theme Human Rights and Human Development in Africa, I was delighted because it addressed the task I have always set for myself. Akinwumi Ayodeji Adesina, president of the African Development Bank, and Waris Diri, a women's rights activist, our 2019 laureates are example of what I always thought of a righteous people of action. Dr. Adesina was born to a poor family in Nigeria. From a young age, she researched methods to modernize farming and nurtured the dream of making Africa a land of abundance. After learning his PhD in agricultural economics from Purdue University in the United States, she returned to Africa and for the last 30 years has worked on agricultural innovation, helping millions of people overcome the problem of hunger. In February 2019, during his visit to Korea to receive the Sanhak Peace Prize, Dr. Adesina said that there was still much for him to do to make the world a better place. Nothing is more important, he said, than eliminating the hunger and malnutrition. Hunger is an indictment on the human race. Any economy that claims growth without feeding its people is failed economy. Nobody has to go hungry. White, black, pink, yellow, or any color you can think of. That's why I'm fully dedicating the whole of the $500,000 award of the Sunhak Peace Prize to my foundation, the World Hunger Fighters Foundation. Dr. Adesina's dream of peace is to discover the actual means to bring it about. I encourage him never to give up to this noble work. The other Sanak Peace Prize laureate for 2019 was Miss Waris Diri, an African woman of remarkable willpower who has overcome many virtually unsurmountable obstacles. Miss Diri was born into a Somali nomad family. While her childhood was fought with civil war, hunger and oppression, she had big dreams and challenged herself, but her circumstances eventually she became a celebrated supermodel. In 2019, she revealed her own experience of genital mutilation, or PGM, female genital mutilation, and her life changed. On behalf of millions of African women, she took up the course of eliminating the practice of female genital mutilation. The United Nations appointed her special ambassador for the elimination of female genital mutilation. She supported the Maputo Protocols, which prohibited FGM and was ratified by 15 African countries. Also in 2012, she played a significant role in introducing a UN resolution prohibiting female genital mutilation, which gained unanimous approval by the General Assembly. Ms. Diri did not stop there. She founded the Desert Flower Foundation, which mobilizes doctors in France, Germany, Sweden, and the Netherlands to treat victims of female genital mutilation in several locations in Africa. She runs educational institutes that help women stand on their own feet. Female genital mutilation is neither a religious nor ethnic tradition. It is nothing other than a violent abuse of girls. This abuse of removing part of the external genitals of young girls is not only a means of oppressing women, but it also is a life-threatening. Waris Diri has devoted her life to eradicating this heinous custom, and global organizations have responded to her effort. One can only imagine how difficult a path she traveled. Waris Diri's goal has also been to help women in Africa and to see women empowered. In Africa, women are on the front lines in the battle for life as they strive to protect their nation's economy. We should therefore be deeply aware how We should therefore be deeply aware how this violence against young African girls injures them physically and often cripples them economically. The emotion and often cripples them emotionally. The African people are tremendously good natured. They love their families, respect their neighbors, and live in harmony with nature. Nonetheless, it as it has everywhere in the world, civ- mo- as it has everywhere in the world, Western modernization has brought Africa mixed blessing. Its prosperity comes at the cost of destroying family and tribal traditions. I believe that Heavenly Parent's love will strengthen indigenous African values that support interdependence and mutual prosperity and will wipe away Africa's tears. The Sunhack Peace Prize is painting a beautiful picture of the new century by honoring men and women who represent the best we can be. It embraces all people as one human family. The prize is stepping stone into a better future. It is a friend to righteous people who labor with a true heart. It is planting seeds of peace that will grow into beautiful trees of life and knowledge bearing nourishing fruits in this home we call earth. In this chapter, I presented to you, the reader, the scale of my life from my grandma's struggle for liberty among a colonized people to the last days of my God sent husband's glorious life, to my years of mourning, to the new global horizons that he and I are opening today. Now I invite you to wend your way through this story as it unfolded, breathing its air with me, tasting the bitter and the sweet, finding the needles in the sandstorm, and discovering with me our Heavenly Parent's hand in every moment. That's the end of chapter 1, and that ends in page 22. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope that you can join me in the next chapters reading this book as we continue to share with you this story of The Mother of Peace, a memoir by Dr. Hak Jahan Moon. Thank you for joining, and God bless you all and your families. See you soon. Bye.